over when you're setting out to the Bundus, as it were?
Well, that's a good question, and we've just come from a trip all the way at Lake Turkana for the Marsabit Cultural Festival, which was a 9-day trip. And 9-day trip, 2,000 kilometers, quite a number of stops. So you can imagine when you're doing that, it's literally an expedition. And if you look around, what you see is that you have basically two things. You've got your creature comforts, and then you've got the essentials for your vehicle. So you really need to know your vehicle in terms of what its capabilities are, what its limitations are, and what you need to carry in order to treat any issues, whether it's a breakdown or just a simple mechanical issue. So a toolkit is standard, and what you have in your toolkit depends on your vehicle. Camping gear, from tents to rooftop tents, of course with the usual bedding and all that, and then cooking gear. And cooking gear is a very
important. That's napenda sana hapo. Hapo kwa cooking is important. So cooking gear is also essential. So this will be a typically one setup, right? And this is
and you can see this is for well, when I'm by myself or I have a few friends with me, I've got a setup that can handle up to 4 people. Of course, with the right type of food material, so more of the potatoes and ugali. We avoid spaghetti and stuff like that. That tends to get a bit messy. But you'll see with one of my colleagues that depending on how equipped you are, you can actually go the full hog and have steak and all that kind of stuff. All
right. So we're seeing here, like you said, you have your setup here. Hata kuna salt shaker naona kitu kama hiyo hapa ndani. Kuna chopping board, as you can see hapa hivi ya kuchop manyanya na vitunguu, and then the spoons there. I'm assuming they are for 4, but if you're one person who eats for 4, pia unaweza siaga tu, hakuna mtu atakuuliza huko kwa Bundus.
And then
a setup here as well.
And then behind you, because I'm also an agriculturalist, so you see a lot of gumboots and stuff that have to do with going out to farms, in a compressor, lights, of course the engine oil, but also filters, dust filters, and recovery gear. There's a bit of recovery gear because you always find a Toyota stuck in the mud, and you have to help them out, so carry some recovery gear as well. And then the rest is really just your creature comforts, whatever gives you that kazing when you're out in the bush.
And so like you say, for this one it took like 9 days. So typically when you're setting out, are you setting out for ISO with the 9 days in mind? Because in terms of fuel, the stops, the routes, are there petrol stations? Are you carrying backup? What's happening?
So the planning actually starts well in advance, maybe 6 to 8 months, looking at the route and then determining where exactly we'll be spending our time. Then in the lead up, as we get closer to the date, of course, knowing your vehicle, you start making plans for fuel. You make plans for the spares that you need to have with you, and we have what we call a spanner day. So one of our members is technical, and he actually takes, looks at each and every car and either takes it off that it's ready to go or not. You have to carry fuel. I mean, like for this particular trip, on average, every vehicle, if it's a diesel vehicle, had at least 80 liters of fuel carried. If you're a petrol vehicle, because some of our members are hardcore V8, they would take up to 12 jerrycans of fuel extra. So fuel would be the most critical component, and then of course knowing whether there's network coverage or not. So we always do an evacuation package with one of our partners, and then we have like a satellite phone for in case of emergency. So those are the basics, and that's part of the planning that happens 6 to 8 months in advance of a trip. All right, so I guess there's this one. So this is yours, right? How long have you had the vehicle and been doing it for yourself in terms of the Bundu travels? So this vehicle, and she has a name, One Flap.
Oh, sorry. What is her name?
One Flap.
One Flap.
One Flap or Dirty Betty.
Dirty Betty, I like that one.
Yeah, she's never clean. This is today is an exception.
You're right.
So I've had this car since 2006. It's my daily driver. So It's clocked about 350,000 kilometers, currently running on a TD5 engine, which is a last Land Rover engine before Ford started doing engines for Land Rover. 5-speed manual, very basic Land Rover, no fancy extras. This is the chairman's car, so this is your basic. Yeah, just to give. Yeah, hiyo ni basic. Hizo zingine utaona they're a bit more kitted out. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. All right, we want to move to the next one here. The next. So I guess next up, who do you have? What is your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Good Morning.
Your name is Good Morning.
My name is Charles Batia. Yes, I'm also an enthusiast, and I'm also in BRC. BRC is actually Bundu Rovers Club. So as you've heard, we did the trip to Turkana, through Marsabit, Kalacha, North Hor, all the way up to Sibiloi, and then through the cultural festival which was happening at Loyangalani. So we're always excited when you're on the road because we're amongst friends. That's one. And two is something that we do as second nature.
Right.
We enjoy doing it. It's not a push because really sleeping in the wild and the hyenas and stuff like that.
Because you
either need to be very brave or have no care in the world.
Or both.
So we are passionate about that.
Right.
And we enjoy doing it. Two, we also try to also touch people's lives as we go along because it is really important. You cannot just be all over the place without at least also giving back to community. So this time when we were going to North Hor, we also had a mission. And the mission was real because we also wanted to give back to society, and we actually looked for sponsors to actually give us some food, some cash, which we were able to gather our resources and be able to say to the people of North Hor, we can make a difference in their lives. As you know, in the last...
One of you is...
yes, there's a guy coming in. He needs to just come in.
He needs to come in here.
Yes.
We'll be visiting his
As you're well aware...
We'll come over on this side.
In the last couple of months... Yes, Karibu, enjoy. That's my hat, outdoor hat. In the last couple of months, we have had quite a lot of concern up north. There has been floods, there have been drought, they have been ravaged by all manner of things. So we thought as a team, why not go up there where nobody else is going? Most of the NGOs and all the other players tend to migrate towards Kajiado and some of these nearer areas. But for us, because we're able to actually move up north, we said, why not? Because when we were to get stuck, we do it as a team and get ourselves out of that mud. Now, I just wanted to mention a couple of players, entities, came through for us. And I think it's always good to mention. They're not many, but let me just mention them. We had KCB who actually came in for us. They came through for us. We had MS Oil. That's an oil company. Kenya. We had Ainu Shamshi Energy. We had King's Commodities. They gave us lots of grain. We had River Petroleum. We had the Rotary Club of Nairobi North Chapter. They gave us books so that we could replenish stocks in the library up north. Game Changer gave us a venue and logistics for all this. And East Africa Glassware Mat. Most of the cutlery you see around here emanates from that particular entity. And these are partners. So he said thank you to our partners. And we also had Brandcom and many well-wishers, including guys who gave us 1,000 bob here, a bill there, a kilo of sugar there. Really, it made all that difference. And since we uploaded most of our photos on Facebook, anybody who wants to see really how the welcome was, they can plug in and they'll be able to see exactly what happened. Yes, now,
this is your setup.
This is my setup.
Now tunaona huko na sukari hapa. Asante sana for still believing.
You know when you're out there in the wild, as the chairman said, that's actually your chairman, as you have been told, you have to be self-sufficient. You have to be self-sufficient. Right. So you have to have all that you need. I don't think we had enough space here, so that's why we just put the table and the basics for you to see. You also need a complete toolbox. Sometimes these rigs, they have attitude. And occasionally they will give you some drama. Yes. So what you do is that you get down on your phone and ensure you can be able to sort out the rig because you need to progress on your safari. So all these tools are basically to show that we are up to the task. And that's why we actually try to invest in such kind of equipment.
So you also have to be...
yes.
Sort of
and the differences are, let me just give you an example, a practical example. A rig like that behind you, you cannot compare to a 1994 rig. So this needs a bit more love than that one.
Does it have a name like Dirty Betty?
No, not really. I've never thought of it. That's actually one flap.
Okay.
I would call it Bamboo Warrior because I also love talking about the environment.
Right.
It's also key for me. And also that was also embedded within our core values as a club, because we also do a lot of CSR around environment. In this case, like for example, we have been given a piece of land by Kenya Forest Services in Kinare, which we have fenced off, and we're actually planting trees on it. And we've done so many other projects, including also partnering with people who are far-flung, like as an example, Lake Jipe, we did for them the fence because the elephants were encroaching. So sustainability, environment, all that is embedded within our core values, and we say we need to flow with it so that we can also impact on the others behind us to know that we can only protect the environment, else the environment would be very harsh towards us.
Right.
So this is a 1994 Defender 200. It's actually a TDI 200, older model to that. I think she'll be able to explain what hers is. This has no computer, as basic as it gets. So if you are losing, let's say, a door sill, the dust outside will not be as much as the dust inside. So you have to be man enough to ensure that either you're going to have an Arafat to cover your nose or something like that. But we still love them. So this is a rig that I use on day-to-day, basically, including of my shamba activities, going to work this morning, and things like that. It treats me well. I treat it well. And it's something that actually made me join Bundu Rovers, because I think 2013 is when I joined. I saw the sticker somewhere on the road. I got interested, and I went to the net. And I discovered these are guys who like going out there, because most of the time you find that most of us want to be in Nairobi, we want to be hanging around in the bypasses, but there's a lot to see out there. We're always talking about Tembea, Kenya. Really, how many people have gone beyond? We actually need to see our country and to enjoy. Yes, and enjoy it, because there's much to see out there: lakes, rivers, people. There's a story untold out there that people need to appreciate and see for themselves. So, back to the table. This is a horn. As an elder from Central, occasionally out there, we need to appreciate ourselves. And this is one form of appreciation. I'll not say what I'll put in there, but I think you can guess for yourself. It's close to nectar. So once you have this and you're out there, you can clearly say you are connecting with the elders. Yes. So we also have another gadget here. Out there in the wild, the instances that it gets so real, they are not toilets. Most of the time you'll see people dragging around toilets because they need to have that toilet call. But out there in the wild, it's you, yourself, and you. Yes, this is not for this. You go and you actually go out there, dig your hole, communicate, whatever communication you want to communicate, and then you bury. And if you are going to
bury the evidence.
Yes, that's exactly what we use it for. So ideally, it will get you out of sand or mud if you are stuck, but it also has another use. Yes, so I guess basically that's that. Right. As you can see, we have
jumper cable.
These are jumper cables. These are not the normal jumper cables. I actually used 10mm wires, make it longer, because there are times a car is stuck further off. And basically most of these tools, including things like this, are not basically for you. They could be for anybody else who has help. Occasionally you'll find in Nairobi, most people don't stop when they find somebody stuck on the roadside. They all want to cruise by, but there's no harm to slow down and ask, what problem do you have? Just could be a fan belt. It just could be he needs to be jump started. Really, most of these tools are not just for me, also for a neighbor. So we would expect Kenyans to be actually more friendly, communicate with each other, and we can go further. We can go further because we remain intact as a community, one community called Kenya. So from me here, I say thank you.
From the elder. The elder of nectar and effective communication.
Thank you.
All right. When you come here, now this one is a little more sophisticated, and this is the lovely lady who is behind it. Maybe you can introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. How are you? My name is Agnes Mwangi, and I'm a member of Bundu Rovers Club.
And what made you join Bundu Rovers? What's the thing that got your attention and said, you know what, I can be part of this?
Because I love to travel. I love the expeditions, and I love Land Rovers. Yes.
Yours is actually pretty souped up. I guess you can get a wider view of it. There's this here, then there's ile inakaa kama ni penthouse suite.
Up there, we have a camping tent, and you can access it from the side there or the back here when the awning is not open.
Okay.
Yes, so we sleep up there. Yes.
So up on the, by this, it's safer.
Up on your bedroom, Sasa. It is called anti-scorpion and anti-puff adder. When we went to Sibiroi, by the way, one of the brief that we got from the KWS wardens is there were so many scorpions and there were puff adders, snakes. Yeah.
Snakes.
So I felt so safe comparing to my friends out there who are on the ground.
Yes.
But anyway, nobody had an incident.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell us about yours. So there is there anti-puff adder.
Anti-puff adder. Yes.
Then
yes.
Down here.
Okay, down here, this is a fridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The car is dual battery powered.
Okay.
So we carry, like the chairman said, we carry food, like for example to last us 9 whatever days.
Oh wow, kuna nyama hapo ndani na mambo mengi sana.
Kuna maji,
kuna
kuna soda. Yes. So that when we get to wherever we are, we're able to make our meals.
Right.
This can keep you going for forever. As far as the car is running and the batteries are charged, you're good to go. You can be out there for a very long time.
And how do you charge the batteries?
It's just when the car is running. Yes, it is dual battery. Yeah, so this is run by the auxiliary battery.
Right.
Yes.
I see you have a sticker there. I say, watch and end even dude.
Yes,
right.
so that being the fridge, then we have some storage area here for the dry stuff. Obviously, the stuff that doesn't need freezing cold temperatures. Yeah, most of the other compartments are just storage facilities. Yeah, that's where I carry my food. Yes, and under there you can see that's my tool bag. It is not as equipped as the chairman's.
The chairman's.
Yes, this defender.
The nectar elder.
Yes, this defender hasn't given me chaos yet. It is well serviced. So I've not started graduating to carrying a lot of tumors.
Okay.
So this is a very soft bag for like recovery, towing, and stuff like that. Yes.
And notice you also have a bucket here.
This is just water. Yes. Especially, I love to cook, by the way.
Yes.
So usually I need my water close by. If I need to remove the steak from the fridge, obviously I'll freshen up and all. Yes.
All right. So I see. And then they have a setup here.
Yes.
Beg your pardon. It looks like a sitting room already dined up almost. The candles too ndo imekosa.
Candles kwa usiku. Yes. So yes, this is now how we set up out there. What you say is you set up as per how you want your setup to be.
Right.
Your rugsary and all. Yeah. So that's my small toolkit for the kitchen. Chopping boards, cups. I always travel with my black pepper and the pepper mill. This one I'll never miss. Yes.
Right. It's what you unapenda sana.
Yes. Because I love good food. Yes.
And this is where as well unapika.
Yeah, that's where I would do the steaks or eggs. Yes,
so
exactly.
Eggs na kila kitu
Yes.
Complete with the fire extinguisher.
Yes, just in case. Just in case.
How long have you been with Bundu?
About 4 years now. 4 years, yes. And I have gone places that I wouldn't have gone personally. I've been to Sibiroi National Park twice. We went to Gorogoro over Easter. I've been to Kora. We literally, what we do is we look at the map of Kenya and just draw a route.
Oh, okay.
And we go beyond beyond where tarmac ends. Yes.
And you mentioned that, like there was a brief you got, I guess, from KWS of where you're going. So you do it in consultation with them, just
when we go into parks, we have to consult KWS. Obviously, you have to go through a gate of KWS, and some of the, like inside the parks, you can't just go and set up anywhere. You have to set up in established camping sites. Yeah, so obviously we have to work with them.
All right.
Yes.
Has it been scary for you at some moment? Unalala usiku nasikia?
No, not at all.
Wanaongea lugha ingine.
No, not at all. Not at all. Early in the year, we actually participated in an event organized by Gravies Trust, and were camping by the riverside in Samburu, and the animals were coming to the river, River Wasonyiro, to drink water. So you'd find the footsteps in the morning. Somehow you're secure inside the tent, by the way. But you'll find the evidence in the morning, or the rangers will tell you. Like when we sleep in the private camps, KWS would give us rangers. Armed rangers, just in case. But we have not had an incident. Yes.
High.
Yes.
And they have this as well. So this
this is an awning. It folds up and is hooked up back there. But obviously this is just to protect us from the elements.
Right.
Either rain or the sun. Yes. So you're under some cover.
You're ready to go, souped up. Your ride, your daily ride, or
this is my daily ride, but the more I put in stuff in it, the more I'm thinking I need a second, maybe a short chase defender.
Yes.
So,
but you'll still go for.
I would rather go for a defender.
All
yes.
Right. Okay. So it's the love of the cars as well.
Yes.
All right. So we'll come also here.
Thank you.
To the gentleman who was driving in. Labda tuambie majina.
Good morning. My name is Captain Gadesha. I drive a Mitsubishi Pajero MK3. This is the 3rd generation, and I love this car. It has.
Yes, because we have been told by Chairman Kwamba it is still lazima kuwe Rover.
It doesn't necessarily.
What made you join the Bundu Rovers? What attracted you to them, having a Mitsubishi?
The first trip that I went with them last year, I found that the values that they hold as a club I would subscribe to that. Because you find that first of all there's a policy where no man is left behind. Then also as a group there's a close knit. Once you become a member, you feel right at home, especially if you're a nature lover. If you love being out there in the bush, if you love traveling, then this is a club for you, for sure. Yes.
So I can see you love traveling and you are very brave, because we've been told hapa juu kuna anti-puff adder, anti-scorpion. Wewe naye uko kwa scorpion na puff adder.
Well, what basically people think that being out there is dangerous. What I can tell you first of all, when you're out there with animals, unless unaenda kuchokoza, animals also have a level of respect. So you find that mostly if like we come and camp here, zitakuwa to within the periphery. That's why you also advise don't move so far away from your about 25-30 meters from your campsite. So we've been safe throughout. Mi hata lalanga miguu ikiwa nje.
Na hakuna shida.
Yes, mine is very basic.
Huko ndo ndani huko.
Yes.
YouTube ameingia hapo. So basically that is your
that is my humble abode.
Yes.
It's just very basic. It's a sleeping bag and a tent. Maybe you get a small table and a chair. Very basic, but works for me.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is like if you're traveling, you just then put this and
very easy. This is as you can see, it's an instant tent.
Okay.
It takes you about less than a minute to set up. Yes.
And you're ready to go.
Yes, and it's very compact even when you pack it. Yes.
And you have your also this is a first aid kit?
So this is a first aid kit. It's a more advanced first aid kit. So basically also in the club we have all sorts of members. We have doctors, we have lawyers, all sorts of people. So you find that with such a thing, in the event of an emergency, because emergencies happen both here and also out there in the bush, you'll find that we'll be ready to deal with any eventuality. Yes. And that also happens within our members.
Right.
Yes.
So even kama mko kwa trip mnasaidiana.
Tunasaidiana,
like
yes.
a very close knit
yes.
Community.
Yes, it is.
Well. All right. Have chair for breakfast. Anaendelea tu. Ako breakfast na ako sawa. Kahawa tungu hamna shida. What I've got, even as maybe you can tell us more in case guys want to join, is that it's the values that have been spoken about, the community, the fact that Elder Nectar amebeba fan belt. He might not need it. He's carrying a first aid kit. It's a sense of community as well.
Yeah.
Bundu Rovers.
Yeah, I think that's very key. We have a few hashtags or slogans. One of them is "Leave no man behind." Though nowadays we're adopting the catch up. You also have to catch up. But that's very core to us. So we typically on a trip, you're a family, you know, and you're as strong as the weakest link. So through our bonding sessions, we have what we call a club night once in a while, through the spanner day that I explained, and then even through the CSR, because I think from my colleagues what you've heard is that our CSR is not just the normal CSR. Yes, we do the tree planting, but we look for issues that are over and beyond the normal, and then we really call out to members to take it upon themselves, and be a champion for something that takes you out of your comfort zone. So in the process, of course, you end up building a very strong community, but I think equally we are very good at taking on board new people. Of course, you'll have a bit of monolization when you check in, beginners. But once you break through the ranks, then your family. And I think we rarely lose people. We take guys take a sabbatical, but our membership is strong and we're open, as we said. We have a link, we have a constitution and some bylaws. So as long as you're happy to abide by those, then you're good to join.
So how do you join? How do you say I want to join? Where do I go? How do I access you guys?
So we have a link that we share. It's on our Facebook page, Bundu Rovers Club on Facebook. And basically, to join, initially you pay 20,000 shillings, which is a joining and an annual subscription. You get the kit item for that year, fleece jacket, hat, whatever it is that will be issued out. And then annually we have a recurrent subscription of 10,000 shillings. And that comes with a Flying Doctors cover. We have basically we have a budget out of that 10,000 that covers part of our CSR, covers logistical costs for trips, and incidentally for our trips we leave them open even to non-members. We charge a small nominal fee, about 5,000 bob per vehicle, if you're a non-member and you want to join us on a trip. But normally what happens is that after one has been on one or two, then they just feel they need to be part of the family. Yeah. So what is it? So it's Facebook, Bundu Rovers Club. We also have an Instagram handle at Bundu Rovers and Twitter at Bundu Rovers. Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, it looks quite interesting, and I saw some of the pictures though from Turkana. It was a very I don't know if you call them contingent of vehicles. There were so many people. So how many, let's say, cars like the 9-day one? How many cars were you looking at?
We had a total of 21 vehicles. 21 vehicles and at about 45 people. So that was a lot of work. But we have for each trip we have what we call a drive captain, who takes charge, ensuring that everything runs from start to finish. And in this particular trip, it was me who served as a drive captain. So you don't see it, but at the front of the car there is a little bell. Ile ngombe ambayo inaongoza wengine. Yes, so that's a symbolic gesture that's put on the vehicle that's leading the expedition. And so next trip there's someone else who will do the same job, but theirs is really to keep the trip and the team moving. Of course there's a committee, so we are not a one-man show or anything. We have a very strong committee who sit and plan and then also work through the logistics and the details of everything. Yeah.
All right, so if you guys want to come through and join, you can always find them on the different websites, the different places on social media. Na ukishindwa sana naona hata mimi niko na kofia nitavute. Well, like to say thank you guys so much for coming through. Really appreciate coming through, and you came. If all guests would come like this, self-equipped, chai iko, kahawa tungu pale, na hapa kuna steak Chef Ali anapewa run for his money because kuna steak hapa hivi. Sijui kama tunaibeba tuipike huko ndani. Alafu it was fun, and as you can see there's a nice mix kutoka Share, Elder wa Nectar, na Communication, na pia na Mr. Python. Wako tu sawa. So like I say, thank you guys so much. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll cross over to the other side. Shefali Mandri join me. Thank you. Preparing a nice treat for you guys in terms of breakfast tips and what you can do. And mi nitakuwa hapo kama the official tester, which is well within my